All right, I am here again with Matt Cohen, who is an actor, director, producer, someone who has, concerns, fears, but is really leaning into what AI can do for him in making his films and helping collaborate.
Yeah.
So we had a podcast before, but I want to let's talk some more about like how we can actually go into specific use cases and like what have you been finding?
Yeah, and so I'm slowly learning from you the things that you're teaching me about AI. And while I do have fears and trepidations and all these things, I understand that it's unavoidable and I have to have it as part of my life and I have to integrate it. So I'm looking at pitching projects, pitching movies. I have a franchise called Mama Bear, and I am looking at reconstructing a teaser from 30 seconds to a minute and a half. A reimagination of this teaser with a more diverse cast and change up some of the elements visually. And that's kind of where we sat down today, right? And you were kind of showing me some of these programs, and I was blown away, obviously, at me giving you one sentence and you're able to provide an image like this and then camera movement and different things. So I think it can be beneficial and helpful as an assistant in just getting a project to a potential filmmaker and going, hey, rather than me spending 50 grand on trying to shoot a proof of concept or a short film, here's a very short teaser trailer that is tonally correct, somewhat talent-wise correct, visually, the lighting, the appeal, the different things of it. And we can achieve this in a day or in a week through AI somehow, some way, which is only going to give a person reading a script a great visual experience as they go through it. So if you watch a 30-second trailer and read a script, it's much more effective than just sitting down and reading a script and imagining it all for yourself. If you have my vision in this 30-second trailer that I didn't have to spend $50 or $100,000 to make, then great. And I don't feel like I'm taking jobs from anybody, and I feel like creatively I'm sitting down with somebody and we're doing this together, whereas I would, do a lot of it by myself. So teach me, tell me, grow me, let me know everything about AI and how not, again, to alienate the entire entertainment business.
Yes.
That's perfect. Yes, that is the end of this podcast.
Goodbye. Thank you so much. That's all we need to do. Okay. So everything that you're saying is 100% correct.
Yeah.
Now, question for you. If you didn't have the ability to even do this, Mama Bear probably wouldn't, exist, right? So you can't take jobs away from people from a project that never would have happened.
Right. So if we sell the project based on our AI invention,
then you're kind of, I hate to say this, but you're kind of creating those jobs.
But we have to say what it is, and you're right. You're right.
You know what I mean? So if you think about it, it's like it allows people to get their vision out, right? And realize something that they're creatively trying to come up with. Now, would you say that you are someone who knows a lot about programs, knows what all the programs are, or doesn't know many of the programs that can help you achieve this?
I think I've heard the names of the programs, and it ends there. This is our second time sitting down talking AI together. So since our last session, I have dabbled and I've looked and I've tried, but I haven't dedicated the time to become a professional user of any of the systems whatsoever. And I want to just backtrack one second to the thing you were just saying about creating jobs. I can be a guy that writes, and this is in defense of AI, and I'm an actor-director for 20 years. I can be a guy that sits in a room and writes the most brilliant script in the world, but if I can't get anybody to read it, it'll never be made, and if it's never made, the 350 plus job positions will never be available. So if I can sit down, write an amazing script, spend a week or a couple of days creating a visual appeal that will get that said executive to read the script, then maybe I'm jumping ahead profoundly in a way that we just never had the capability before. So, work output, it's an important thing. And if you can do a little bit more of it with a slight assist on the computer, I really think it's beneficial.
And without even just jumping into it yet, another thing to think about is a lot of the times you're stuck waiting for somebody to give you permission to make something.
Yes.
Right?
All too often.
So you have a script, you have a project, and you're saying, okay, here's my words. Here's my idea. Can you help me make it? Can you give me money to make it, right? I think something that what you're going to see that you can solve, and it's not going to be easy. It's not just click a button and there's a film. Like some people think
I'm learning that
it's
quickly.
not that. Like people go through hundreds of generations of images. It's about curating the image. It's still about the vision of the creator, right? Yeah. But now you don't have to wait for somebody. You don't have to wait for the permission of somebody to say, yeah, I'm going to allow you to do this. And that's why a lot of the times, like if you look at the studio negotiations and with a strike, there is a side who feels like they hold most of the keys.
Sure.
And the problem with that is now if you were on the other side and said, oh, now I actually have more of the keys because now I can make it before I bring it to you. And then when I bring it to you, I might actually be able to retain more ownership over it because it is something deeper. There's something more there that I am bringing to you.
Yes, I do. I'm with you on that, and I like the idea that it's a basket of tools to help advance my creativity. I can't just type in, hey, make the best trailer ever for my movie titled Mama Bear. It's not going to know what to do, right? It's going to give me something not what I'm looking for. There's several steps in the development process and in the imagination process of using AI, and it doesn't replace all your creativity by any means. If anything, what I'm sensing is it is advancing my creativity in ways that maybe I didn't expect right from the start, where I have a vision and then it gives me some sort of imagery and I go, oh wait, it shifts my vision a little bit one way or the other, which is good because it's exercising my one single view. I think it's important.
Well, so let's just jump right in. So this is not about the writing of a project. This is not about the brainstorming of a project. You already have a project, right? You have something in mind. And then you're going in and you're saying, okay, cool. Well, what are some of the characters that I could put in this project? Who are some of these people? We already did a little bit of exploration, right? But let's go in more and do this, live. You might get a different person than what we had before, but let's just go with it. I'm going to use the same quote right here, or the same prompt that we used before, and we'll see what it comes up with. So imagine is what you have to type in before you do anything else. That is what gives you the ability to put in a prompt. So what we did is we said raw photoreal photograph of someone like Halle Berry, or just a type of a person, African American, 35 years old, average build. She's a soccer mom, right? Yeah. So these are just attributes, right? You can put whatever you want, but the more that you put into a prompt, you're going to get more back what it is that you want, right? So now you want to go into super detail, and by the way, this is like being a director, right? You have to be the most descriptive visual director there is, because you have to say, okay, how do I want it to look? I want it shot on the Alexa. I want it to be a 50 millimeter lens. Why don't we make it, instead of a 50 millimeter lens, why don't we make it a 35 millimeter lens? Let's call it Leica lenses. Oh, we want it to be oversaturated and gritty film stock. Yeah. Right? Do you want her to say outside background? Do you want to put a background in, or do you just...
Yeah, let's try it. Let's try something. So put her in a very industrial Los Angeles warehouse district.
Background is outside in an industrial warehouse district.
Great.
Right?
Yeah.
And comma. You separate everything out by commas, right? Okay, so let's just start. Let's just start there. We're not using any parameters. We're not using any specifics. We're just focusing on the prompt. And that's really, if you do anything in this kind of AI prompting world, it's really about the prompt.
Right.
And then, just because you don't get the images up front doesn't mean that you just keep versioning. You keep trying to find it.
Now, this is a silly question, but I feel silly learning about AI because I barely know anything about it. So I'm going to ask all the silly and dumb questions.
That's what this is for.
Is there an AI program to better your prompts for other programs? Or to assist? There is.
Yes.
Right,
There's I'm going to show you something in a second.
That's just so interesting to me because it's.
Do you like it? Okay, so
those are all great.
So here are the images, right? Which one of these do you like?
I like that top left.
You like this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I did in a previous video, right? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Now, just so you see, if you look right here, this 1, 2, 3, 4 says which one do you want to upscale to make it larger because you're not going to use this image, and then it'll give you that. This is V1, V2, V3, V4. So if you want something different, you could hit like say, oh, V1, but do it in a jungle. Right? So we're not going to do anything right here, because I know we just want to just show you as an example, because if you're making a short or whatever, you're going to generate hundreds of photos.
Right.
Okay? You're going to generate so many of them, it's going to make your eyes bleed. And then you're going to curate the photos that work best for your project.
Right.
Just like you would when you were researching a project, right? So let's just upscale this.
It's funny. I like, as a side note, there is a creative side of this that is remarkably intriguing. No, I mean, I know it is. There is a creative side and a process to it, but as a different creative process, there's a massive amount of intrigue in me going, I can't wait to see the image. I can't wait to see what we can do. I can't wait to see what I can add or take away, which is, as a creative person, you want to live there, right? I want to live inside that camera. I want to see you from every angle. So there's versions of that I respond to immediately.
Cool. Yeah, I totally. No, I want to just show you some features, right? Because when you go home and you go and make this trailer or do whatever, or tell the next person.
And I'm going to try. I'm going to try with what you teach me over the next few weeks to cut this thing that I'm going for.
And now you can pan left, you could pan right, you could go in, you could kind of move the camera the way you want. Right now, I'm going to show you. I'm just going to zoom out.
Okay. I was going to say, what if we zoomed out and panned up to a title? Or is that too much to try to do in this moment?
This is not a video program. So what we're doing right now is we're just getting the image, and then we can take it into a video program.
Got it.
Okay? But what I want you to be able to do is just to be able to generate the photo. And right now, this is 2 close-ups. We need more.
Right.
Right? So it is generating those. Okay?
Great.
So now it is generating that's pretty accurate, I think, for what would happen if you would have zoomed out, right? So which one of these do you like? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Let's go with 1 again.
1? Great. So cool. That's our image. Now I'm just going to do a couple, so obviously your entire trailer is not going to take place right there. Right? So the cool thing with there's a couple things I want to show you. But the first thing, I'm going to right click again. This was actually in my last video. I'm going to copy link. Right? So now they just added a couple new features for character reference and style reference. Okay. Right? So we want to use this character.
Yes.
Right? So we're going to say, imagine, great. Now, what is a scene? So we're going to say a woman. We don't have to describe her again because we're going to use a character reference. Okay. What is she doing?
She is just exiting a gunfight.
Exiting a gunfight.
Like she just like in my mind, she walked out of a building and she's walking down this alleyway out of carnage. She just left it all
exiting
behind.
A building, having been in a fight.
There you go. Listen, we
I don't know what it's like. You want to be? I don't know what the restrictions are on some of this, but like a woman exiting a building,
been in an altercation,
been in a fight. And been in a fight. That good?
Yeah,
so in order, let's just see what happens. So this is how do you get a parameter? You do dash,
okay,
and then you do cref, which is for character reference. And then I'm going to click. That's the link, right, to the image. And then in order to keep it close to what you got, you're going to do CW, okay, and then I'm going to put 100. You could go from 0 to 100. 0, be creative. 100, this is what I want, right? I also want it to be in the same style of what we got. So I'm going to do sref, which is for style reference. And then I'm going to paste this link again. Otherwise, it would give me any style that it wants. And then I'm also going to say the style weight. I don't want it to be creative. I want it to be that style because we're going to stay in line with what it is.
Got it.
Okay? So now we're going to see what it
And that's easily understandable even for a guy that's not an AI. I don't know a lot. I'm just learning for the first time. And I'm not even a really in, I don't have a huge background in computers.
Sure.
Like I have minimal editing and minimal color correction, minimal sound correction stuff. But those prompts are easy enough to understand. That makes complete sense to me, what you just showed me as far as character reference, character weight, and style. And it doesn't seem that hard when you explain it.
That's the goal, right?
Right. So
the goal is to not just explain it to all of the first early adopters, the tech forward people,
right.
is to explain it to the people who actually should be using it.
Sure.
Yeah. Right? So so now we are getting an image. You're going to see that it's going to have a similar character in a different location with a similar style. So now you go back and do hundreds of these, right? And you're going to get the ones that you want. So now remember, if in like a trailer, if you're making a movie or a television show or for a book trailer or whatever it is, the goal is to be able to present something. And if you watch trailers, they're like 4-second cuts. So you don't need a 30-second cut, right? In Sora, like the one that's coming out from OpenAI, they're getting up to a minute, but you don't need that.
No, you don't. And really, to make a good trailer, it's 2 to 4 second clips, and maybe you have a slow motion clip that goes a little longer. But
so this is a different location. It's still, she's in a building. There's graffiti on the wall.
Yeah, but that's it. I could pull up the trailer in my phone of the short film I made, and that top left image, the top right image. I like the top left because she looks
a little more beaten.
Yeah, she looks a little beat up.
So okay, cool, right? So now I'm gonna try something. That's what I did. Let's do image. And this is the image this is the image that we generated before, right?
Got it.
So you asked me if you can take an image or figure it out how to get a prompt for something else. Right. That is a new feature that Midjourney has added recently, where you can actually find the prompt of what would get you, say, that image. Right. So you say a cinematic portrait of all of these would kind of get you this image.
Great.
And they would give you the best one. And if you could take it somewhere else,
sure.
Wonderful. So right now, that's another thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save these images. Okay, here we go. Great. So that's Midjourney. So basically now I am going to okay. Now I just kind of came into Runway. Okay. I'm just going to drag the image that we had into Runway.
Okay. And what is Runway? What kind of program?
Oh, sorry. Runway allows you to bring footage, like create footage, right?
Got it.
A woman turns away from camera to look behind her. Great. Okay. And if we want, we can generate camera controls. So you can zoom in. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit. And then that's it. That's all I'm going to do. And then you can use a thing called motion brush, where you can actually say, oh, I want to use the first motion brush. I want her to, I think that should get her to look left. And let's just, here anyway. Let's just do that.
And so what are you doing by highlighting the kind of...
This allows you to just have these different things doing different actions.
I see.
But anyway, so that's basically how it does. I'm not going to go so into it right now. Basically, I'm just trying to show you like things that can be done.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's the biggest the biggest thing. Is so you can come in here, you can make camera, you can make motion, you can just take the image that you created in Midjourney, then you can download that, you can edit it. I'm going to show you a few more other things real quick, but the idea is that if you do that with enough photos, you basically generate all the photos, all the scenes that you need in your trailer. You take it into Runway or Pika, which I'll show you also, and then inside those programs, you can create video, visuals, and then you can download those, you can edit that together, and then you have your trailer.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, it definitely would give you inspiration to make a teaser to put on somebody's desk to give them a visual enough to open a script and actually spend the time in the atmosphere, in the universe with the characters based on something they saw. I think that's, that's very valuable within this industry for sure.
Yeah. So, and I know you don't have a ton of time today, but I'm trying to kind of briefly lean in, and then we can dive more in on different things as we go. But I just want to show you what this is,
And what's going to be beneficial for the two of us is that you're teaching me all these things, and I am going to do homework weekly based on the things you've taught me, and then we're going to sit down for a couple of weeks and learn some more. But the next...
So again,
that's incredible.
It's finding the 4 seconds, right? It's finding that, and let's take it one step further, okay?
But like with just some clips like that, you can really give a person a really good idea of what the film is going to look like, or your hopes of what the film would look like. Which, when you read a script, if you have any visual, even one picture.
Absolutely.
You latch on to something.
Absolutely. So, what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to show you, look, let's just show this, for instance. You can add, I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to do this is. There we go. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take the image that we got earlier. I'm going to do lip sync. And what do you want her to say?
Let's go find my son.
Change in all things is sweet.
All our knowledge has its origins in our perceptions.
So you can basically pick a voice.
Ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes.
For fun. Mm-hmm. Let's have it a British one.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. So let's go find my son. Again, time. It takes a lot of time.
And this is what app are we in now?
Let's go find my son.
Can you change inflection or anything within these apps?
I'm going to show you other ways to do that. But for fun, okay? This is just to show you that it can work.
Right.
Okay?
Totally.
It's just to show you that it can work. And while we're doing that, I also want to show you. So Adobe yesterday just came out with a new thing called structure reference, which I'm going to do a little bit more of a video on as we go. But it allows you to basically create a doodle, or if you're doing storyboards, take a picture and then keep the structure of the image.
It's so cool.
Cool, right?
And then put it in different
I've always loved doodling ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
As a way to just get my creative flow.
So
now with structure reference, I can take it to the next level. Start with the simple house. I can use style reference and inspiration from the existing gallery to change the style of the image. What if we made it look like a storybook?
Now, I think it's important to know that it's not one thing that does that. So being able to have the knowledge of how you put these things together,
right.
it takes time.
Almost more time in a sense. It allows you to be more creative, but where it would be easier for me in a sense to put an actress in a hallway and have her say a line, you have to do that layer by layer by layer by layer with AI. And AI does make it available to do, but you have to know what you're doing, and you have to learn from a guy like Ben here that's teaching me the ways of the sword, because without somebody explaining it, it's just chaos and there's too many programs to ever deal with.
Let's go get my son.
I like it.
Let's go get my son.
So 11 Labs is pretty good.
Смелость — это не отсутствие страха,
Is this just change
아
it into...
просто продолжение движения.
Holy
우리의
cow.
미래는 우리의 현재에서 시작된다.
Wow. That's...
人は愛によって水戸も強く、
So you can essentially do that to any of your
水戸も弱くなる。
content. Change...
Anything.
Right.
Anything.
Which allows it to be ingested by people all over the world and for you to
Let's
share
go
your
find my
messages.
son.
Wow, her hair's moving now.
Here, wait, where's my... Why is it not giving me the audio?
Let's go find my son.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Let's go find my son.
And then the cool thing is you can also add sound effects,
Right.
right? So you could turn on sound effects and you can like it's all of it. So it's having the ability to understand how do you generate the image, how do you animate the image, how do you do the lip sync, then how do you add sound effects. Then we're not even going into Premiere to like then edit by text to
But we'll get there.
then
Like,
remove background, like add effects.
yes. And all that can be done within Premiere's AI programs or other programs, including Premiere.
There's a lot of tools that come together. I'm sure Premiere.
I'm going to learn them all from you, Ben.
But that's the thing. It's like the Premiere suite. It's like all of these are going to end up coming in. And then I know you saw something that like came out yesterday. Like HeyGen is now allowing people to generate avatars that are walking down the street.
Right.
It's the kind of thing where it's like, yes, it is fearful. There's certain things that I'm concerned about. But in the end of the day, if you could figure out how to do this right, we need voices who are creative voices to lead the conversation, yet instead of being dictated on how to move forward.
Yes, and I think there's a conversation that you and I will have eventually as we learn and grow, and I bring more questions to you from the stuff I'm trying of how do we police AI? How do we censor AI to a point of protection, right? Where so we know we're turning on the news or we're turning on something and that is an actual real story, real person, real thing. I think that's terrifying to a lot of people. You know, where my eye looks at an AI video and I go, I know it's great, but I know it's AI.
Not for long.
Right.
And that's the problem. Like YouTube,
And that's what people are really scared about.
Well,
you know?
YouTube just put settings in, so you'll see when you upload a video
I saw.
that you have to say it's a real place, or it's not, like all of
Right.
those things.
And
But
great for YouTube for
YouTube's not
doing.
the only place, though.
Right. Right.
But like, look, there is a lot more to talk about.
Yes.
We are basically doing this series. It's going to be breaking down AI for creatives and understanding how it works in like whether it's ethical, how to do it, what you can do. We'll go into generating music. Maybe by the end of this series, you'll even have a short film by yours truly over here. But really being able to figure out, well, what's the process? It's not easy. Some might call it an art. Some might not. That's okay. We can all have our opinions, but in the end of the day, it isn't going away.
Exactly.
It isn't one country who's doing this. It is a worldwide thing. It is moving very fast, so it's good to know what's going on. Even if you're scared, being able to understand and have knowledge in something that is scary is a better way to control it than to hide from it.
Yes, I agree 100%. And being scared of anything is because we don't understand that thing, and to understand that thing removes fear. And there we go. We're going to remove the fear. We're going to learn a whole lot about
Let's do
AI.
it.
Here we
Breaking
go.
it down. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next session.
Bye, everybody.